It is now my pleasure to introduce the faculty speaker, Mr. Lane Gordon. Mr. Gordon has been the student choice for our graduation speaker in 2003, 2006, and now again in 2009, only because they can't go every year. Mr. Gordon teaches English, theater arts, and public speaking. He has been a teacher at Lakeview High School for the past 8 years. He loves to sing and spend time with his wife, son, and daughter. This summer, he and his family are headed to Disney as his daughter was granted her wish through the Make-A-Wish Foundation. There you go. Mr. Gordon's infectious personality, positive energy, and ability to bring about the best in anyone he teaches in the English or theater arts departments places him in the top 1% of educators that I have ever had the privilege of working beside. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Lane Gordon.
Thank you very much. Actually was surprised to see, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but there's a new accessory apparently that's supposed to be worn these days anyways when people are in as close to quarters as these. So if you'll give me just a second. Apparently the swine flu has gotten bad. No, actually, I don't know if you know this or not, but this fashion statement is not something new in the last couple months, so we're going to play a quick game of charades. Tell me who made this popular only about 20 years ago. Shaboom! Okay, that's the extent of my stand-up comedy career, so I'll let that go. No, it is actually a great honor to be here again, and I'm glad we don't do it every other year because I think I'd run out of things to say. So thank you, especially class of 2009, for this incredible honor. Space was the final frontier for the crew of the Starship Enterprise. Now, many of us here grew up watching this crew, whether on film or on TV, tackle any challenge that came their way, boldly going where no man had gone before. This crew, all with their checkered pasts, was a team that was bent on overcoming anything that came in their way, anything that would threaten either the Federation or the very existence of mankind itself. Now, this speech is not a science fiction lesson, nor is it a preview of some Trekkie convention, and if I lost any of you already, please just stick with me. Believe it or not, one of the more profound statements of this century can actually be found in one of these Star Trek films. And you don't even have to think that dudes with pointy ears are attractive. This is something that we can all chew on. The particulars go like this. The Starship Enterprise has been hijacked by a rogue Vulcan named Sybok. Sybok is probably one of the more gentle pirates that this world will ever see, and he has a strange and amazing ability to release people from their pain through the use of a classic Vulcan mind meld. In fact, he's able to recruit a huge number of followers by doing just that. Sybok helps them find the painful events in their life that define who they are, and he releases them from it. Their fears, their guilt, their self-doubt is all gone. And in doing this, people are drawn to Sybok, a Vulcan man that's offering a life free from the memories of your pain, free from the memories of your mistakes. And he, through this ability, amasses a makeshift army that helps him overthrow the crew of the Starship Enterprise. Once aboard, Sybok continues his practice of releasing people from their pain, and one by one, he works his way through the ship, one crew member at a time, bringing them over to his side by taking them through the ritual of removing their painful past. Well, the inevitable showdown finally comes between Sybok and the captain of the Starship Enterprise, James T. Kirk. And in an act of defiance, Captain Kirk denies Sybok's treatment, proclaiming that pain and guilt cannot be taken away by the wave of a magic wand. They're the things we carry with us, the things that make us who we are, and if we lose them, we lose ourselves. I don't want my pain taken away, he cries. I need my pain. Now, at this point, please don't perceive that I or Captain Kirk are masochists obsessed with pain or fear. This is also not a pitch for being totally okay with character flaws that bring you and people around you significant amounts of pain and suffering. But the question is this: if given the opportunity to remove from my past all my mistakes, all of my pain and all of my fears, some of my darkest hours or total screw-ups, would I really jump at that chance? Where or who would I be if I was freed from all my pain, fear, and mistakes, essentially removing it all from my past and my memories? And I have to admit, the opportunity would be tempting. Think about it just for 1 second. Who among us would give away some of our biggest mistakes, our greatest pains, and jump at a chance to have those gone from our history and from our minds? Well, obviously, this seems like a good idea at first. I mean, I can think of multiple things that I wish that I could remove from my own history, choices in my life that I could have certainly done without. What teenager, honestly reflecting back on their time in high school, would not have multiple things come to mind that they probably wish that they would have never done? I wish I wouldn't have dated her, probably shouldn't have skipped that day, and I definitely should have kept my shirt on for that assembly. In fact, who has an honest parent around them who would not identify for their son or daughter choices that they should have never made in their own life? What thing or things your parents wish that they could take away and have never experienced? Because pain by its very nature does just that. We want to avoid it. No one longs for it. No one looks forward to it. Fear, guilt, and shame are all responses that we as a human race desire not to feel. And Sybok knew this. He knew that people would have gladly given up their pain to follow him, even if it meant losing a part of themselves to achieve it. But he did not count on one Captain James Tiberius Kirk. So listen, I don't really live my life studying the gospel according to Star Trek. Yes, I am an absolute nerd, but I don't actually practice Vulcan death grips or anything like that in my spare time. Actually, as a Jedi, I find it more fulfilling to focus my skills focusing my skills on mastering the Force. Here, watch. You will laugh at my jokes. No, actually, it simply is this. That statement of Kirk has literally stuck with me for decades, because I think that he's hit on something very profound, and it is simply this. Pain, of course, is an absolute part of life. No one avoids it. No one gets away from it. It starts from day one on this planet, and it continues literally until we take our very last breath. And it teaches us. It helped us learn how to ride a bike. It taught us how to not sit too close to the television. And on a deeper level, it was instrumental in teaching us how to guard our hearts the next time we fall in love, or even recover from the loss of someone very important to us. And when you really get down to it, pain has been one of the best teachers in my own life. The problem with pain is that people do, in fact, try to avoid it like the plague or the swine flu. I mean, it's not like we should be excited by it. Oh, look, a brick wall. I should run headfirst into that so I can learn that nose tissue and stone don't mix well together. But pain's actual purpose, its promise, is that if you pay attention to it, you will learn from it. It's almost like pain is an annoying but important friend in your life. You may not like what it has to say. In fact, you may flat out hate it. But it is important, and it does serve a purpose. In fact, pain is probably one of the most honest and blunt friends you will ever have. Why? Because pain doesn't soften the blow. It doesn't let up. It gives you exactly what you need or what you deserve. And it has the profound ability to know that a stubbed toe should just teach you to tread more carefully next time, versus a broken heart that guides you to better or more cautious choices in friends or lovers. So what does this have to do with us today? Why am I not quoting from some profound president or author? Why is Captain Kirk my muse and not Captain Sully or Captain Jack Sparrow or Captain Kangaroo for that matter? What does this have to do with Lakeview graduation 2009? Simply this. You guys aren't necessarily starting anything new. I don't have advice like, always follow your heart. Look, college is going to be awesome. Your job is probably going to be everything you ever wanted. Your marriage will be wonderful and fulfilling at times. But all of those things are also totally going to suck at times. You will probably make some of the dumbest choices of your life in college. I know that I did. And if your parents shared honestly with you, which they of course always do, they probably did as well. Your job, whether you have that lined up now or you have 8 years of higher education to get there, your job will be a total drag sometimes. I know that mine is. And if your boss speaks honestly with you, which they always do, they will tell you that their job is a drag sometimes too. You'll get into trouble, you'll fail at new ventures. Some of you will fail at business or leadership roles. Your marriages someday will be some of the toughest and most difficult moments of your entire life. You will be wounded, exposed, and crushed at the insensitivities that your future wife or husband will bring into your life. I, of course, have been the giver and receiver in my own life and marriage of these things simply by human nature. And if your wife and husband share honestly with you someday, which they always should, they will tell you the same thing. But remember pain's promise. All that suffering isn't the period at the end of the sentence. It doesn't have to be the end all. If you really listen, if you really focus in, you can learn from that pain. Actually, not just learn from it, but it can help you change your course. Because there is nothing more beautiful than recovery from pain. There is nothing more glorious than the broken being mended. And there is nothing in this world more perfect than restoration. And if you listen, if you focus, if you pay close attention, your pain will show you where and how to do things differently next time. You see, Kirk was smart not to give up all of his pain, having it forever banished from his mind, but Sybok was onto something too, because no one should just naively sit in their pain, constantly remembering it, constantly suffering from it, and constantly wallowing in it. How many people do you know or have you seen suffer so greatly from their pain that you can't even stand to be around them? Or how many people do you know that continually walk down the same destructive path over and over again, only to continually experience the same screw-up and the same mistake? Or maybe it's that they hold on to that screw-up or mistake from their painful past, and it eats them away and it destroys new and healthy relationships. And this is why people were drawn to Sybok, because this is human nature, because it's the easy thing to do, to let your pain destroy you. So this is where the balance needs to come in. Look, of course we all have to move past it. Of course we celebrate people overcoming it. Of course that we are proud when people can rise out of the miry clay and set their feet upon the solid rock to make their footsteps firm. But moving too quickly past your pain without dealing with it or learning from it is just as dangerous as staying in the cycle of your pain and making the same mistake over and over. In fact, I would suggest that those who don't deal with it, those that move too quickly past their pain, they're the ones that are destined to find themselves back in the same place again. It's like the runner who trips over their shoelace, falls flat on their knees and elbows, digging their nose into the dirt. And what do? They stand up, they brush themselves off, and they keep running. This, of course, seems noble, but the problem is that they didn't look down to see the source of their pain. Dude, your shoelaces were untied. Who pulls over at the side of the road to identify the source of their car's problem, a flat tire, only to hop back in the car with a smile on their face, merge back into traffic, and drive down the freeway, showering sparks into the lane next to them? Hey man, I just plowed through, I just kept pushing, I just kept on keeping on. That's not noble, that's stupid. Listen, all things can be restored, all things. So fix your tires and tie your shoes. Don't embrace your pain like Kirk did, but don't take Sybok's route either. Don't forget what you have been through. Remember your mistakes that you have made. Don't dwell on them, but simply remember them, because they will always make you a better, more loving, and well-informed person who makes better, more loving, and well-informed choices. Allow yourself to learn from your pain. Identify the source of your pain, and then work on recovering your pain. And listen to this one. Surround yourself with people that will aid you in recovering from your pain. Don't be around people that cause you pain. Remember pain's promise. Hardship and pain don't create character. they uncover it. And if you run into any Vulcans in dark alleys offering you a lollipop, turn and run in the opposite direction. Thank you very much for your time. Love wins.
Lane, I would like to present you with this plaque signifying your selection by this year's senior class as their faculty speaker. Congratulations.